Monday, Mel Gibson and his wife, Robin, filed for divorce after almost 3 decades of marriage. There's no prenup and almost $1 billion at stake.
Wow.
So people are saying it could be one of the most expensive Hollywood divorces in history.
Mm-hmm. They're married in California, right?
They're married in California. Yes, you're married in California. It's 50-50.
Yeah. But isn't that against his Catholic religion to get a divorce?
But aren't a lot of Catholics divorced?
Many
well,
Christians
he's a
are
very
divorced.
religious Catholic.
So what are you suggesting then?
I'm just saying.
No one's perfect.
But he didn't file for divorce. She did.
No one's perfect.
Yes.
Well, no one is perfect and so forth. But this is a man who is, I don't know, more Catholic than the Pope practically in the way he has just talked in some of his pronouncements. And there is, and I have a, you know, he's made allegedly some anti-Semitic remarks and then said that he was, I forget at the time, but that he was drinking or he didn't mean it and so on.
Right.
And it just seems to me, yes, no one is perfect, but when he has been so, help me, I mean, so vociferous in his religion, and then, you know, you could separate, you don't have to get divorced. I'm not a Catholic, and I know that it's a very serious offense, but many people do. But I think
that he was separated, though, was he not?
Yes, but he was. But the point is, he's filed for divorce. It's, I mean, no one's perfect. Heaven knows.
I think we're all.
But I'm just saying it. Maybe because it's Mel Gibson, there are some people who feel that he doesn't practice.
Well, hang on, wait a minute. There's a difference between hypocrisy and look. I think intention is there. Who knows? Okay, you never know someone's intention. I think we're all one step away from doing something that could change the rest of our lives, hurt somebody, do something that would be considered sinful in whatever religion. Situation that look, you're a hypocrite when all of a sudden you make a bad choice and what you've been trying to do for the whole past 10 years or 20 years of your life has been another thing. I don't know. We don't know his intention. I think to call him a hypocrite because he's getting a divorce, you might just call every single Christian or Catholic or whatever religion a hypocrite for getting a divorce, and that is unfair. That's unfair.
No, my point is not that. I would certainly not.
I defend Mel Gibson, Elizabeth.
You know.
No,
I defend him.
I'm just saying
it's really indefensible. I'm not defending him. I'm defending the concept of you cannot hold a religion and get a divorce. You cannot hold a religion and commit a sin. We're all sinners. We all suck.
Nobody's arguing with the concept. And
we all suck.
I love you. But the Catholic Church is against divorce, and he has been a man who has followed the most, maybe not orthodox lines, maybe that's not the word. I mean, he wants the Mass in Latin. He wants to be as close to every idea in the Catholic religion.
It just goes to show you that he's not perfect, because the moment you start trying to say, well, you know, you follow the letter of the law here, 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 and here, and then you drop off is where people get very, very disappointed.
What's causing a divorce? Do we know?
But I don't think that's our business.
I think the wife is about. But also, too, you know, I was reading an article, too, where it was saying, would his fan base drop off with Christians because of the Passion of the Christ, which I don't think it will, because I think a lot of Christians didn't, you know, they weren't looking at Mel Gibson. It was the symbolism of the movie that they were paying attention to. It wasn't necessarily Mel Gibson.
He never became, like, a god in anyone's eyes. He never became a preacher, so to speak. I don't think anyone viewed him as that. They still saw him as Mel Gibson. They saw him that this was a project that he was, no pun intended, but passionate about. And look, like I said, everyone's one step away.
Listen, Elizabeth, there's a self-righteousness to the guy.
Well, isn't it self-righteous to call somebody self-righteous? And you know what I mean?
Elizabeth.
I'm just
the guy puts himself out there as a super Catholic. He makes anti-Semitic remarks, and then he gets a divorce, which is not the Catholic thing to do. Okay, that's all we're saying.
Let's be really clear. It was not just anti-Semitic remarks. He made anti-feminine remarks. He made anti-black remarks. He was basically a bonehead.
A bigot.
He was a drunken. He was a drunken bonehead. Okay, he was drunk. Let's be. Well, you know what? It's never an excuse when you're drunk, but people don't have issues when people are drunk. That's why there's no commercials about, you know, what happens when you lose your kid in the airport and you hit somebody dead. But, you know, nobody cares if you're drunk. But the point that I was making is that even God, regardless of which God you believe in, says, let he or she who is without sin cast the first stone. Notice my stone is just going up and down. My stone is just going up and down.
Well, when we began this discussion, I way Good, Bad, or Indifferent started it, because I do feel that this man who has been very judgmental in his remarks, and a man who is such a follower of every letter of the Catholic Church, then, you know, files for divorce. We see people filing for divorce all the time. We never discuss it here. But somehow this was a special case, and yes, it did seem hypocritical. And I don't want to fight you, is he a good man, a bad man? I'm just saying.
I think when you bear the cross of a religion, it makes people almost want you to fail.
And when you're vocal about your religion, I think people put. I think when people are vocal about
talking at the same time.
I'm not saying anyone here specifically. I'm just saying there is that thing when people get loud about their faith. Okay, we've all seen it, and they say that certain things are right or wrong. There's almost that thirst in the public's eye too to almost wait for them to fail, and when they do, it's celebrated. It's like, look, this is a sad thing. Okay, I don't think anyone would ever want this to happen in their lives. It happens all the time.
Yeah. And when you're vocal about your religion, the moment you say you stand for something, as soon as you show that you're imperfect, then people go, oh, you're hypocritical.
Which is why people, you know, are always...
It's not just standing for something. It's driving it home. That's the difference. It's not just, yes, I stand for such...
often do that, and as we find...
You get tripped up.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. This is why you always want to say to people...
Nobody was pushing for him to do something.
You never know how kooky things are going to be until you pick up the New York Post on occasion. Now, the father of a child actress from Slumdog Millionaire allegedly tried to sell his 9-year-old daughter, Rabina Ali, for about $300,000 to a reporter posing as a wealthy man from Dubai. Now, reportedly, he was unhappy with the money received from the movie and wanted a way for his family to get out of the slums.
He has denied this.
He says
he was tricked, and he has denied
He has said, I did not do it. That price tag on her shoulder was from the dress that I forgot to take off, and no, I didn't. I don't believe. I don't want to believe that he tried to sell his kid. I don't want to do it.
That movie, Slumdog Millionaire, I think, you know, we saw it and we were entertained, but that truly is a lot of what is going on over there. The poverty and what is happening to these kids, and it's like opening up and showing people the plight of these kids. You know, I don't know if we need to invest in the charity, the people that are going over there trying to help these children. I don't know what to do because it's such a horrible thing.
Well, it's everywhere. If you start to look at, you know, the things that are out there that are hitting kids, it's in Brazil, it's in, you know, Africa, it's in India, it's all over, and people are doing a lot of things, but this idea of, and you brought it up the other day and we didn't really talk about the gentleman who sold his 8-year-old daughter into marriage.
But that's not, I mean, we were horrified by it. This was in Saudi Arabia when a man needed money and sold his child. And we said, you know, we'll talk about human rights, and we have a relationship with that country, and, you know, what can we do? There's just so much that we are able to do. But, you know, there are things that go on, that have been going on. We hear about this because this is a famous child. But we are horrified by it. It's in some of these places, it's not horrific.
It's a good point that you make. Like, we hear about this because she had
and how much are we in this country able to affect some of the atrocities?
Because you can't go save one child.
Well, there's a case where you don't throw a stone, because this guy is in dire poverty and he's looking for a way out for his family. So let's not judge him. Because you don't know what his situation is.
Well, you don't know what his situation is, but it is one of those things where one of the things that we don't ever want to see, as we didn't want to see with the gentleman from Dubai, Saudi Arabia, we don't want to see children made into groceries.
You know, years ago, there was, I remember, because I gave a little money to it, there is a woman who has been trying to save, you okay? Yeah. Who has been trying to save children who are sold as prostitutes when they're 6, 7, 8. I mean, it is this. We hear about this because it's famous, but I mean, what I'm saying is there are things that go on in these countries where there is a kind of poverty, and little girls become the bait.
Well, that's what she played in the movie.
If you guys are really interested, or you guys or anybody sitting out there is really interested in finding out more about the people who are trying to prevent these kind of things, the UN Children's mission has a great deal of information about things that you can do here from this country, in case you're interested in more.
UNICEF is a great organization to give money to.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're very upfront. Yes. Everything goes to where it's supposed to go. I always give to them, and not others you don't know. But this one you know, UNICEF.
And you know what else is a good company to give money to? Us. That's why we're going to go to break.
I see.
We'll be right back with even more Hot Brothers.